Much of Africa is arid. It is not quite desert, but with rainfall under 500 millimeters a year, the land is dry for much of the year. These arid areas stretch in large bands across much of Africa. For many centuries, peoples on these arid lands have herded their livestock across the lowland plains in the rainy seasons and up into the lush highland forest areas in the dry season. These people are known as pastoralists. Pastoralists are nomadic, moving large distances with their cattle in search of grazing. Traditionally, villages followed the movement of the cattle, although in recent years, pastoralists have tended to establish more fixed villages within extended communities. And as the pastoralists are nomads, they are not agriculturalists. Up until recently, they rarely plowed the earth or planted crops in the soil. Their food, their lifestyles, were based around their animals. Among the better-known pastoralist tribes of Africa are the Maasai. The Maasai used to move their livestock across a vast territory along the Rift Valley in East Africa. But over the last century, pastoralism has come under enormous pressures. Since colonial times, it was seen as somehow inferior to agriculture. Down the years of this century, the land was divided and often lost by the pastoralists. And as the relation to the land changed, so the culture has changed. At the end of the last century, Maasai land was divided by an international boundary separating Kenya and Tanzania. Ironically, the magnificent Mount Kilimanjaro, one of the potent symbols of Africa, is itself divided by this national frontier. And on the slopes of Africa's great mountain, the division and loss of Maasai land is graphically visible.
As you can see now, it has been cultivated and taken by different kind of people altogether. You know, there used to be only the Maasai people who are living here, but now those individual ranchers who got the land have sold it, and some are cultivating it now, and therefore the livestock cannot come up now to graze during the dry season.
It is the story of Maasai land, of Kenya, and most parts of Africa. The land. How was it used in former times? How is it used now? And how should it be used in the future? This is what is known as high-potential farming lands. Paul Ntiati explains the different ecological zones on the mountain and how the majority of the Maasai now find themselves in the low rainfall, low potential areas below.
This is Kilimanjaro, and Kilimanjaro has got two peaks. One is the Mawenzi. This is about 14,000 feet high. And the big one is Kibo. It has got over 19,340 feet high. And the slow line reaches somewhere here. Then after that, just below, almost about 10,000 feet high, then you start finding the forest land. It goes along the Kilimanjaro on the slope, about 10,000 feet high. Then after the forest line, they have what they call the